Thank you, Governor Reynolds. I think you heard a lot of the information that I will repeat a little bit just to reiterate some of the important points. Yesterday, the CDC and FDA put a pause on the rollout of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They did this because they had received reports of 6 cases of a rare blood clotting disorder that's also associated with low platelet counts. This is a disease that many of us have not seen, and they are taking the appropriate caution to review these cases. They have convened an expert panel. The Advisory Committee of Immunization Practices will be bringing in consultants on this rare disorder. They will be evaluating not only the 6 cases that we have seen in the United States, but some of you may also know that in the European Union, there have been similar cases reported after the AstraZeneca vaccine. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine and AstraZeneca vaccines are both based on adenovirus platforms. They will be reviewing whether there is something that they can see in these adenovirus platforms that might be a reason for this. They will be evaluating how commonly this disorder occurs in people who have not gotten any COVID-19 vaccines. Based on their evaluation, they will be giving us some important recommendations on how to proceed, and we will be watching those recommendations and responding appropriately. So I think the fact that we did pause is important. It's what we want the system to do. Many of you probably are concerned that we rolled these vaccines out too quickly. I can assure you, we did not skip any steps in the creations of these vaccines. Remember, each of these vaccines was tested in 30 to 40,000 people. That's tenfold higher than we typically include in our drug trials. Every drug that we create has rare side effects. We don't see those side effects until we start distributing the vaccine or drug into the general public, and millions of people are dosed. That's what we're seeing here, a 1 in a million type of event. So our system is working correctly. We're identifying these, and we're pausing appropriately to reconsider the safety and efficacy of this drug. Now remember, we still have a pandemic. There's still 500 to 1,000 people dying a day in the United States from COVID-19. Keep that in mind. So many of you are going to be considering whether you should continue to pursue a COVID-19 vaccine. The answer is yes. We still have COVID-19 circulating in the United States. We have variants that are being transmitted more quickly in the United States. Remember, too, we have 2 other approved vaccines. We have the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines. These are completely different vaccine platforms, messenger RNA platforms. Hundreds of millions of doses of Pfizer and Moderna have been used now throughout the world, and we have not seen the same side effect in those vaccines. Also, remember that we have many other drugs that have rare side effects that we have still chosen to use because they have more benefit than risk. Even flu vaccines have rare side effects that occur 1 time in a million, yet we know 45,000 people die from influenza a year. So it's a risk that that's worth it to protect the general public health. For those of you who have gotten the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in the past 3 weeks, there are things that you should be looking for. These cases that we had in the United States were all in women. They were between the ages of 18 and 48. In Europe, the cases were predominantly women as well. also similar age frame. They occurred between 1 and 3 weeks after they got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, or in the European Union, AstraZeneca vaccine. The side effects were very different. They had severe headaches, severe abdominal pain, acute shortness of breath. Remember, all of the COVID-19 vaccines we have common side effects. In the first 1 to 2 days after a vaccine, many people have a mild headache. Many people have just general body aches or fever. This is different. It's occurring later, and the symptoms are more severe. If you are experiencing any of these severe symptoms and you got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in the past 3 weeks, you should contact your primary care provider. There are tests that they can do looking for an unusual antibody that attacks some of the granules and platelets. If your physician needs some help, we have consultants that can help them order the right tests. The treatment for this is intravenous immunoglobulin, a little different than a standard blood clot. Some of the people are put on steroids as well. Again, if anyone is identified with this disorder, we have experts that can help walk through how to treat this disorder. And I'm going to stop right there. Remember, we still have a pandemic. We still have some great vaccines, and we'll be learning more after ACIP reviews these cases today and helps us understand what we should do going forward.